either going to have the defending champion keeping the belt, or you're going to have the guy who got it 2 years ago snatching the belt back. Bjergsen looking for maybe a little bit more battle storm.
The 2-0 for Bjergsen. Uzi outplays and has the run back from game 1.
I'm a little bit more unexpected, and I can pull out a lot of things that you might not expect.
有注意他玩一些我不知道的英雄哦。我肯定是会希望我自己会拿了2个 solo 冠军，因为而且是连续的，而且是没有人做到的。
I'm back to regain my title.
Hello and welcome back for our final day of the 2017 All-Star event. Players from all around the world have shown their grit throughout this week of competition as we've welcomed the rise of new heroes and embraced the return of our favorite veterans. Hello everyone, I'm James Dash Patterson, and these three fools who were too chicken to jump into the fan 1v1s are Indiana Frosker in black, Chris Papa Smithy Smith, and Isaac Azael Cummings Bentley. How are we doing today?
I was gonna go out later on.
Oh yeah, the classic, the classic. I was just about to do it. Are you gonna use the same excuse?
Probably not.
No, you're not gonna go out there. Definitely too chicken. You're gonna own the chickenness. And how about you?
I can play some Nasus.
There it is. Let's go. Let's go. Get out there, guys. It's been a ton of fun. Shocks and I have been getting our butts kicked, but enjoying it nonetheless. Last night, we asked you to share some of your favorite moments from All-Stars, and here are just a couple to kick off our day. First up, this one's hard. Alucard Chad tweets about the man, the meme, the legend, and his clutch quadrant. Let's take a look.
Sneaky has to do it again. Big burst of damage down onto the Chinese squad. Curtain calls.
They're all up against the wall.
Haunter time down. There's a deadly flourish. Haunter goes down. Barrett now enlisted. North America is helped out by Barrett. Double kill for Sneaky. He's going in. Barrett flashed away from Sneaky's in trouble. That's a triple. That's a quadra.
Yeah, board.
I'm on board. I'm on board.
I'm on ult. I'm on ulti.
Yeah, you guys are on the front.
You guys can stop it.
No
flash. Thresh MF. You got that. You got that.
You got this.
Nice. Yeah, we stopped it. They're gonna keep going. Nice.
I'm coming.
Watch the smiter. Just kill him.
Nice.
Nice. My fucking boy, dude. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I saw some grimaces on your face, Frosker, during that clip.
Like the audio is so funny though. They're so calm. Meanwhile, Zyrene's like losing
Yeah, I was
his
about to say,
mind.
that's my favorite part is Irene screaming to like the third kill. Just like, doesn't know how else to let that energy like out aside from just word vomit essentially. Next up, the Fanglies had his mind blown by CA, who is way too clean on Kassadin. WTF.
Yeah, pretty egregious mistake as well, but here's Jisoo with the ultimate. He's actually going to go for it. Power River going to cut his way back in. Jisoo jumps on. Exhaust is good though from PoE, and now Jisoo, shockwave back in. Nowhere good to go. Still is the ignite, but Jisoo actually still fighting. He might have gotten that kill there, but Power River did have the barrier.
And now he can push in. He can threaten the dive. He has to try to threaten the dive here. If he can get in,
he's going. No, that's too far.
Oh, it's a loss. He got it.
Oh my God, Jisoo!
You're kidding me. Jisoo comes up with a miracle kill there.
WTF?
WTF Kassadin play? Like, the most
sick.
impressive Kassadin play I have ever seen.
Yeah. Credit to Jisoo though, because that was probably the most hype ending to a 1v1 we've had so far.
It was pretty
He has been quite the explosive player.
That's literally one of those plays where you're not even mad that it's the wrong play. You're just like, that
Exactly.
was sick anyway.
I was pulling for him in the 1v1s just to have some new blood in the finals and somebody who was going to be willing to shake things up. That Tom Kench was a ton of fun to watch. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Kassadin play now, perhaps.
MLXG's running for his life. Malefic Visions is tagging across. The bullet time does so much damage. 957 as well as Shie. They get 2. That's a double, a triple. It's going to be a quadra kill for Shie, and China are in the lead.
进可以秒吗？进可以秒吗？进 ，nice 可以一波可以杀完可以一波杀完 ，nice 这波勾进。
They cut the clip early, but I'm pretty sure NA won that game.
Yeah.
Closes it out cleanly from there, you know. Great job, guys.
I want a little camera on Frosker for every single one of these replays because on that one she's like fist bumping and like super pumped by it. Keep tweeting your favorite moments and we'll keep sharing them throughout the show. Now, before we jump to today's matches, let's send it over to Shocks, who's standing by with Brazil's superstar bot laner to hear his thoughts on the event so far. Actually, I take that back. We're going to hold on here for just a moment. Maybe that interview will come to us in just a bit. Last night, the LMS defeated Southeast Asia to earn their spot today versus the LPL, who took Korea to 3 games and earned their slot in the All-Star Finals.
And look, at the end of the day, LMS are 5-0. They've definitely crept up, and once again, they've been able to be just so powerful. And with a roster that, on reflection, looks very strong, but pre-tournament, everyone was looking at China and Korea, and the LMS, very impressive.
But Papa Smithy, the only game that the LPL has lost, they technically won the team
You
fight
would say that,
in
Oscar.
the middle of the
It
map.
says 2-1 there. I can see the number.
Yeah, they took the loss, man. There's no taking that away from them.
Remember, the game
LMS
ends.
looking strong, undefeated so far. But there will be some questions around, the strength of schedule per se, in such a short timeline to have not had. That's true. They did beat Korea, didn't have to play them in that best of series, right?
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting. Obviously, they had the easier of the semifinals. No one's really going to debate that, but they have looked fantastic. And, Karsa has been amazing throughout the entire tournament. So it's going to be really exciting to see how they actually stack up against the LPL team.
It's also the fact that they really haven't had to show anything. Even in their game against Korea, you haven't seen any of these big surprise picks come out of the LMS. It's been a couple of Zoe's here and Azir for Fofo, but he really hasn't had to stretch his champion pool at all to get here.
I mean, the other thing to consider is that this is perhaps BB's last hurrah, right? He's at least stated that he's going to retire. Who knows what will happen, but watching him play so far throughout this tournament has been spectacular. Some real highlight plays for him up against Uzi and the LPL. If he comes away with a victory in this best of 5,
retirement, he's still good, baby.
I mean, that's
Let's
a pretty
go.
great way either to go out, right, or to reignite.
Yeah, we didn't even get to show the pentakill as one of the highlight plays at the start of the day, and it's one of those things where, players have certainly retired in League of Legends, but a lot of them have gone out with whimpers. So to actually go out with a big tournament like this, potentially a tournament victory, retiring on the top is pretty sweet.
Now, all this said, even with that momentum behind them, many consider the LMS to be the underdogs in this matchup versus the LPL. So let's talk about this LPL squad so far.
So for me, the LPL squad has shown a lot of diversity in their playstyle. They've played from behind, they've played from ahead, they've shown more. It kind of feels like a meta read or a little bit safer. You look towards the LMS and you're like, I don't necessarily know if I agree with a lot of these draft tendencies, prioritizing Rise, letting things like the Xerath, the Misfortune go through, but maybe that was just a read on the GPL and maybe we'll see that shift up. But so far for this tournament, we don't have the same evidence because right now I just think that LPL are just a stronger drafting team right now, but they've been pushed harder.
And potentially they've prepped a lot more. So it does feel like, especially as games go on, they have this kind of ability and tendency to play games out cleaner than a lot of other teams I have here, where the solo queue tendencies come through more. And to me also, it's been actually an ability to look at the solo lane as the 2 WE players and really highlight how 957 and Shia, every time I see them up close, my tier list ranking of where these guys land goes up and up because 957 especially has been right up there with Karsa as one of the stars of this tournament.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I think a lot of people will go about the synergy that the LPL squad have going in, doing that 2-week boot camp. On the other side, though, you have 2 J team members, you have 2 Flash Wolves members, especially in their key shot calling positions. So there's just as much, individual, at least flex queue synergy for the Flash Wolves, or excuse me, for the LMS as there is for the LPL.
Let's talk about some of the synergies, though, within this team, right? So you've got Karsa and Sword Art, and we've even heard from Ziv that he thinks that those two as a pair have largely contributed to the success of this roster at the tournament so far. Looking over the flip side, MLXG, that's the guy who's going to be tasked with kind of tracking Karsa and perhaps, unsettling him a bit, as Karsa really seems to have found his own in this tournament.
Yeah, Karsa has been amazing, and we have been lately hearing a lot of talk about jungle support synergy, obviously with the TSM roster changes, with Ziv talking about it here. It's been such a focal point of the game, and MLXG, I think, is going to have a good series to be able to at least contain Karsa. He doesn't have to be, carrying, but Karsa has been an absolute monster and was pivotal in the LMS taking down the LCK team in groups. So if you don't contain this guy, he certainly could take over.
And pretty much 1 and 2 in every jungle statistic for them. You, of course, talk about the supports as well. Let's talk about this bot lane matchup a little bit, as it is BB against Uzi, as well as Sword Art versus Mako.
Yeah, the big guy there, Mako. I think Mako has been so underrated for so long. Like, people sing his praises, but I think he is the cream of the crop, the best support in the world, and unfortunately, he just doesn't get to compete in the region to really prove that. But in this roster, we get to see the dream team, Uzi versus Mako, and it has just been beautiful to watch.
And again, it's a uniquely strong performance at All-Stars for the LMS. Remember, Sword Art has actually never been the voted-in support. It has been Maple monopolizing mid lane and removing that third star Flash Wolf from being able to play. So seeing that synergy with Karsa that we know about on the international stage for Flash Wolves, Now it's here with his national team, and that's been really big.
Coming away with a victory at your, debut All-Star performance would be a pretty sweet way to go. We'll find out how that match plays out later in the day, because first up, we've got a clash between 1v1 Kings, Bjergsen and Uzi, and I want to know straight up from you guys who you think will walk away with the 1v1 crown. Frosker, and we're going to start with you.
Surprise, surprise, I'm going for Uzi. He had it last year. I think he's going to go back-to-back with this one. I think he's shown a little bit more diversity so far than Bjergsen. Bjergsen's been sitting on the mid lane picks. He's going for the kills, even though he did have one of those in the 100 CS win. But Uzi has shown the Syndra, he showed the Vera, so it's 80 carry and mid lane picks for him.
I'm sandwiched between the LPO analyst and the NALCS analyst, so I feel like I know where these guys are going. So yeah, it is on me. I've always said that I think that Uzi's the best laner of all time. It's 1v1, it's laning, so I've got Uzi here. He's looked very strong. He's taking it epically serious. The Uzi versus Prey series, and Uzi's reaction when he did drop a single game was a sight to behold, so I think he's got this.
And to get the run back, right? You know, showing that he learned from game 1 to, get that run back in games 2 and 3. Azael?
So I do actually think I have to go with Bjergsen, and for me, it's not necessarily about the diversity, it's about the fact that he's playing so much to win. Like, his strategies have been very well crafted. I think the Talia pick was really smart. Like, the way he beat Faker, he didn't have to be better than Faker because he outthought Faker, and I think that's so much about 1v1. It's preparation, it's utilizing the best runes, it's utilizing the best strategies, and, when I saw Uzi versus Prey took a game off him with Zoe, and that Zoe was not impressing me very much. So I think Bjergsen can play that at a higher level, and if you allow Bjergsen the flexibility to get the pick advantage, I think he's going to win.
I was just about to ask that question, so I'm going to kind of turn this to you guys. What's your defense there for Uzi, as he did play, 80 carry versus mage matchup yesterday against a non-mid laner? Lost it, yes, did learn from it, but Bjergsen, without a doubt, will understand or be more comfortable piloting some of those mages. So do you think ADC or mage inherently has an advantage?
For me, I think ADC does, because I think the easier way to win it is to take the defensive summoners and then just go for the CS victory as opposed to the all-in victory. I think that takes a bit more craftsmanship, which is why Bjergsen's victories have been so impressive, as Azael was talking about. In terms of the Zoe matchup, I think either Uzi will ban it away, or maybe he'll let it go through once. Bjergsen will just absolutely smash him with it, and then hopefully he'll learn his lesson.
Yeah.
All right, only needs one more
Final thoughts here, Papa Smithy?
Yeah, I'm thinking about what's been played here, and I feel like about the projected mage pool, Zoe, and the Syndra definitely knows, because that was a pick he played in the mid lane himself, has played this tournament. You could think either about the Talia and go for the CS victory, but I don't think that works either. So I'm optimistic that Uzi knows where he's strong, and certainly he's going to be on the 80 side.
There you have it. We'll see who's the last man standing as we send it down to Quick Shot to introduce our competitors.